I wanted to start first of all by thanking everybody who came here this morning. A bunch of you I know have an interest in being here because you're my co-workers up at Roman Shafer and Shafer, but I appreciate you taking time on a Saturday morning. And I thought before I address the city courtship position in detail that I would talk just a little bit about Cortland. We opened an office in Cortland, Roman Shafer and Shafer, 25 years ago. I didn't have much gray in this goatee at that point in time. And Rick and Tim and I decided that if we were going to have a full-time law practice in the city of Cortland, that we needed somebody to live in Cortland, and Kathleen and I made the move. I bought a house using a power of attorney when she was visiting her folks in California, and that didn't go over too well, but we've dusted it up a little bit. We live over on Greenbush Street. Our daughter Emma was 2 at that time, and Greenbush Street's been a perfect place to raise a family. Emma went to Randall School and then off to the junior-senior high school. She got a great education down here. We found a lot of welcoming friends, a welcoming church. We're members of Grace Episcopal and Holy Spirit Lutheran Church. Close to the Y, Emma swam in high school and swam on the Y Stinger team. Kathleen served 4 terms on the almost 5 terms on the city council representing the 8th ward. So we just found Cortland a great place to raise a family and a great place to practice law, and I'm just delighted that I can be here this morning. Concerning the city court judgeship, Judge Meldrum, who's been our city court judge for 16 years, is going to retire at the end of this year because of age term limits, and the city courtship position is going to be open, and a new judge will be sworn in on January 1st, 2014. And I'm here today formally to announce my candidacy for city court judge in the city of Cortland, and I'm going to seek the Democratic nomination for that position. We've been privileged over that 16 years that Judge Meldrum has instituted a number of programs and activities in the city court, one of which is, I think everyone is familiar with, which is the drug court, and that seeks to give individuals who have drug and alcohol abuse problems the support and treatment and oversight that they need, that they can become good functioning members of our community again, and that has been a success, and it's something that we're going to need to build on. In the Shafer family, we have a saying, comes from someplace else I'm sure, that it ain't bragging if you really done it. And Kathleen reminds me all the time that yes, it still is bragging even if you have done it. But part of what this process entails is I have to convince people in the community that I'm the best person to be the city court judge in January of 2014. I've been very fortunate in the 33 years that I've been practicing law. I practiced here in Cortland in the public defender's office. I went to Binghamton, was an associate at the firm of Paris, Resnick, Klein & Barber for 3 years. Got great training while I was down there, and then came to Tully with Rick and Tim in 1983. Over the 30 years that I've been a partner of Roman Shafer and Shafer, I've developed a litigation practice. I've tried several dozen cases before juries to verdict. I've tried hundreds of non-jury cases before all of the court levels in the state, the justice courts, the city court, county court, Supreme Court, Court of Claims. I have never tried a case in federal court, although I've handled several matters in the federal courts as well. And coupled with that, the benefit of having a litigation practice in a community the size of Cortland is I've had a general practice as well, and I have represented hundreds of clients and perhaps over 1,000 clients over the past 30 years, from things as simple as doing a will and minor estate planning to some very complex business transactions and development work. So it's not just being in the courtroom and representing clients in the litigation phase of cases, but it's also providing that counsel that clients need in their day-to-day legal activities. And I've been fortunate to be able to do that. And over these past 30 years at Roman Shafer and Shafer, I think I've gotten fairly good at doing that, and I want to carry those activities forward as city court judge in Cortland. I'd like to talk about 4 areas of the city court that I think are important in the campaign. The court is an organic entity. It doesn't stay static, and Judge Meldrum has done wonderful things in his tenure on the court, but we can always improve the court system. In the drug court area, I think we really just need to build on the work that Judge Meldrum has started there. The key there is that individuals who go through the drug court process, they need support, they need treatment, but they also need to be accountable to the community and to the court system, and that's where the judge comes in. And I want to work with people that have these issues, but I also want to hold them accountable as they go through that process. We are very fortunate in Cortland that we have one of the lowest crime rates that you're going to find anywhere in the world. On the Cortland City website, every week the police department posts the statistics for criminal arrests and prosecutions that are ongoing. And if you look at those, we're very fortunate. We do, however, have violence issues in what I believe are 2 primary areas. One is we have domestic violence in this community. It's a real problem, and it's something that the court system and our social service agencies continue to struggle with, but we need to continue to work and address. I certainly would not prejudge anything coming before me as a judge, but once an individual has been identified as a victim of domestic violence, those individuals need the protection of the court system. They need the orders of protection, and it would be my goal that I would carry out those activities going forward. The other area that we have violence in our community is in the drug and alcohol sphere. And fortunately, if you're not involved in selling drugs or using drugs and not alcohol dependent, you're unlikely to experience that type of violence. But it's something that does spill over into our community, and it needs to be addressed. And I intend to be firm in handling cases that come before me in that regard. The other area that I would like to discuss this morning has to do with the fact that we have a civil portion of the court as well, and it doesn't get the prominence that the criminal aspect of the court gets, but we have quality of life issues in the community that deal with the code enforcement issues, landlord-tenant issues, small claims proceedings. For a lot of folks who come before the court, that small claims proceeding is the most important thing that is going on in their lives, and we can't let those be relegated to a second tier. They have to be addressed promptly, and people have to know that they're getting the attention from the court system that they deserve. The final thing that I wanted to mention is I also had the experience as a private attorney to be appointed as a law guardian in the Cortland County Family Court. And I have approximately 10 years experience being appointed to represent individuals, primarily JD, juvenile delinquent, and person in need of supervision, PINS youth. And these are youth who are 16 years of age or younger. But I spent a lot of time with those kids in looking at the problems that they experienced in their lives and why they were in the criminal justice system at all, even at the family court level. Well, those young kids graduate, they move on, and unfortunately we see many of them in the city court system, and I feel that I have a good understanding of the problems that they face in Cortland, the things that bring them to criminal problems. And while they have to be dealt with within the rules that govern criminal adjudication, I think I also have the compassion to deal with these people in a realistic way and encourage them and help them to get back out into the community and not be lawbreakers in the future, and to be law-abiding citizens. The keystones of a judge, any judge at any level of the court system: you have to be independent, you have to have integrity, and you have to be impartial. I think all of you who know me will realize that I can bring those qualities to the city court judge position. I'm looking forward to the campaign, not as much as I might like to say I'm looking forward to it, but that's how we do it. And I really am looking forward to the challenge of city court. I think I will be a good city court judge. I hope that I can count on your support, and I would be happy to answer any questions anybody might have this morning. And if there are no questions, you can have some more coffee and donuts, and I will thank you again for coming out today to assist me with this.
Mr. Shafer, I have a question.
Yes.
How is the city, I know the county's a separate entity, but you be working together with the county some aspects?
Well, the city court is a totally separate entity, but there certainly is a lot of overlap with the county and family court between the drug court, the domestic violence court issues. So yes, I would anticipate that I would work closely with Judge Ames and Judge Campbell on those issues going forward.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you. Okay, thanks again, everybody. I really appreciate you coming out today.
All right.